Welcome back to RoadCraft. I'm the blind gaming guy. As you can hear, I have a cold. We'll blame my youngest for that. Last time we... I hit the right button here. Last time we started our company, BGG Logistics. As you see on hard mode, we finished Precipice, which is basically the first step of the tutorial. Gives you a real basic understanding of several of your key pieces of equipment and gives you an idea of how the gameplay loop works. This next chapter is the aftermath. The region is mostly flooded after the storm, with notable destruction around the main routes and facilities. The core objective is mitigation of the immediate damage caused by flooding of both industrial area and the civilian sector. So let's jump right into it. And the only starting vehicle we have is the Minuteman, so let's use it. You can buy alternate scouts, which I probably should have shown you how that part works, but we'll save it for the next stream, because the next stream is where we start getting into use of multiple types of heavy equipment on a regular basis, so it'll be more logical to go through it then. And I will fast forward through this so that it's like, look, loading resources. Done loading resources. Well, that looks like it's done. Yep, done loading resources. North Africa in the spring. Your company returns to the region after a storm has passed to witness... Oh, bloody heck. Forgive me. Let's try that again. We'll have to cut all this out. Alright. Sorry. Your company returns to the region after a storm has passed to witness the aftermath.
Looks like our hard work paid off. The storm's passed and the town's still standing. Still, we better check for damage. I've marked your destination at the harbor.
Now, let's pull up our map. Let me see the map. Alright, last time we worked literally from this warehouse to the phosphate plant. That was the whole thing, and most of it was right here, between the pumping station and the Orange Grove. Well, here was our headquarters last time. This time our headquarters is way over here. To get there, we have to drive all the way past the abandoned facility where we found the generator, across this bridge, and through some terrain that we have yet to drive through. That will give us our... We will get more driving done at the beginning of this than than we did pretty much in the entirety of the first scenario. And we'll get to see just how nasty the roads are right off the bat. Like, this was really easy driving last time. Look at the rear end of the truck sloshed sideways around that little corner. See, up here was the headquarters last time. See? Right here. Let's try not to drive into a telephone pole or a big giant rock. Remember the trailers we fought to move out of the way because I didn't know how to move them out of the way yet. Now we're down to the main road area that we were traveling on last time. Okay, there's the abandoned facility where we got the generator out of, which is really full of water right now. Don't think we want to try to drive out into that. I don't think we want to drive straight through that. I mean, look, we're burying ourselves in mud here. Can we fit here at the base of the tree? No. Dang it. Well, a giant puddle it is. Oh, I hit high enough on the side of the puddle, it didn't hurt. It didn't bog me down too far. This part's kind of like in real life. You really don't want to challenge that much mud head on. You hit it on the edge. And here we can see where there's actual dirt in the middle, so let's try to aim for it rather than the really deep water in the that we can't see the road in. We've arrived at the...
At least this bridge is still in one piece. We had to move our operations before the storm. We needed to get to that harbor, so it had to be lowered. I was a bit worried about it, storm and all.
Nope, wrong button. So we got to the bridge. This is beyond this right here, and then up here to the warehouse was as far as we traveled last time. So crossing this bridge takes us into an area we've never explored. off we go. Bunches and bunches of rocks. And those will cause us trouble. So let's go around them. In fact, I seem to be stuck on a rock right now. Oops, I actually had to lock it all the way in. Some more deep water to cross. Stay up on the side. Oh, come on. Nope. Nope, 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 nope. Well, I guess we need a call for rescue because she's stuck. Well, trying to think of how to take that screenshot as we slowly slide deeper into the water. That's hilarious. Can't remember how to take a screenshot on Xbox. Maybe if I just reach over and hit this button. Or hit the wrong... Did not get what I wanted out of that. What is going on? I just wanted a screenshot. Oh well, I'll have to just take it later. So, when you screw up and get your vehicle stuck, as I have done. Whoa! As I have done here. Oh, that's right. You do it in your truck. Oh wait. Oh, it floated far enough out of the water I could get it out. Oh, that was... Well, apparently, the side effect of not knowing how to take a screenshot was I got lucky and drove out. I was going to show you how to reset your vehicle right there, but I didn't need to. I got lucky. So apparently, if you get your vehicle stuck, you have two options. Sit and wait until your vehicle slowly sloshes its way out of stuck, or reset the vehicle. When I looked at the engine and saw that the engine said it was not still flooded all the way out, I was like, maybe. Well, now it's stuck on a tree. Pull winch. So I better pull myself free of the tree. Myself high central on a tree and use the winch to pull myself free of it. Just like you would in real life. Alright. We have made it to the new area. The cavalry has arrived, but your work is just getting started.
You might have noticed we've deployed some additional support. Supplies, vehicles, that kind of thing. But you'll need to jump in the crane and move all those containers out of the way first. And then you'll need to check the road from the harbor base to the transit point and clear out any hazards. Once that's done, you can plot a route for our vehicles.
Can I just bounce over the track here? Yeah, I'm trying to park it in the garage and over here, and because you know the way this thing is. All right. Actually, the other day I was playing with my son. No, not that button. Hit and hold spacebar turns off your engine now. So, we have a heavy cargo truck? Where did this come from? I wonder if I'm supposed to use it to move those, I'm not going to. I'm just going to stack them. Alright, now, the gantry crane. Well, it is definitely geared to be run in this direction. Oh, trolley movements. AD, raise lower, ZX to move the wheels. Okay. Now, raise and lower hook is RF. Attach. Rotate it. Ah! There you go. Just bring these over on top of these boxes. And they'll be good and out of the way. Ah, I hit the wrong buttons. And clear. Okay, now apparently our next step is infrastructure related. No. Oh, go ahead and check the road. So it's just a matter of driving it again. Okay. So, in that case, we need to jump into our pickup now that the road is clear. And the weather's gone crummier. The road through here is actually not bad at all. Of course, I forgot to turn that down. Okay, that won't be happening again. We are about to find the first impassable terrain that we've come across. And the game's going to tell us that. Since it's impassable, let's give you something to make the terrain passable. The road has been damaged by the storm and is impassable for convoys. The nearby dump truck will do the trick. Switch to it to repair the damaged section. This is where the game actually begins. So let's park our truck up here off the side. Let's switch to the dump truck. Excuse me, again. Alright, you can hit your left mouse to control the tipping angle, or you can hit 1 and 2 to open and close. Okay. Gotta fix the road before we can send the convoy. The road is actually so bad that I had to lock in differential lock on a 4x6. We're going to make this a single pass of sand from one end of this to the other is enough. But we're not going to do that. The tipper is all the way closed. I hit and hold G to refill sand. Now, hitting and holding G by itself is not enough. You have to be within certain routes. telling you what I'm looking for is will be en route shortly. But there will be a circle around sand quarries where you can fill up your vehicles with sand. Alright. Until we get the dozer, we can't finish that, so let's park this, turn it off, let it refill it. And then let's get our dozer, as it's telling me we need to do. Oh, there's the quarries. It's under vehicles. See? These circles indicate where I can get sand from. If I'm outside of that area, the dump truck will not fill up with sand. But if I'm inside of it, I can fill the dump truck up with sand. Now, that said, I need... Oh, yeah. Click on the garage. Rusty vehicles and your chosen starter vehicles cannot be sold. To deploy a vehicle on the map, select it from the list. Now, for example, these vehicles are all rusty. Can't get rid of them. But if we were to come over here to the shop, for instance, and pick, and here we get the scout vehicles that you can choose between. We don't want us. We're not messing with scouts right now. Steel trucks, etc. Yeah, I'm not looking for one of these. Roadworks. This is where we would buy a Tioga dump truck or our dozer that we have, but better. Forgive me for clearing my throat in your ear. But for comparison, this one has 10 tons when we come in my chosen colors. Right? Where the Tioga that we have has where does it tell me the stats in here? I can't see it where it has the stats right offhand. Oh well. But the rusty ones have lower stats than the full powered ones, which we will place out as we go through. But right now, where we don't even have all the vehicles, there's not really any point to get too excited about it. Let's take our dozer over and clean up and level out the sand. And that is actually going to be the primary thing we end up doing this scenario, is moving sand and flattening it. Sand flattening mode. Also lets us clean up some of the terrain stuff between point A and point B. I was talking about fixing the area we are working on over here to make it drivable. You have to fill it with sand and then sand flatten it with the grader. Pouring sand over a compromised section takes some patience. Luckily, you got a dump truck for that. Add a dozer to your garage to finish the job. Well, we had a dozer first, so. See, a single pass made a huge difference in our big lumpy area of sand. But by backing up and hitting it again, you can smooth it even further. Well, that is a stubborn little tree. Most of them obliterated. That one? No, I'll stop you. I mean, seriously. Right down the middle. And we'll add a little bit more sand to the area. As you can see, this area is now far nicer looking. And basically that's what this scenario will be mostly about, is finding areas where the driving looks absolutely horrible and making it look like a freshly graded dirt road. So, switch back to the dump truck. And as you can see now, we have a much clearer area that we can put our sand in. And we can back across this without going to our axles in mud. That should be plenty to finish out that area, I think. Or you fill up the sand. Now they could have made me go back to that loader there and manually loaded it, but they didn't. I wonder if they thought that was just too Tonka truck. And I would argue that there's not really such a thing as two Tonka trucks. Because any kid who had one of those iconic yellow metal Tonka trucks like me, 1 year old, because they stopped making metal Tonka trucks. Now they make them out of plastic. And 2, you know as well as I do that there was no such thing as too much fun filling them things with sand at the playground with the sandbox that had the little crane you sat on and pulled the levers to make it actually work like a big crane, and you know, felt like a felt like you were running a crane. Little kid. That's kind of what this game evokes, is that feeling. There are games that evoke that particular feeling better, but the one I can think of that does a better job evoking that feeling also has less of a game loop. It's just more digging big holes in the ground, which I will probably give it another go in the future. But I have not gone back to that game for a while. All right, that should have definitely done that. Let's back you off. Try not to get you in the ocean. Okay. Is that not long enough? Oh no, there's more to do. I get the first section. I didn't even see the second section. But, see? Nice, smooth road. Let's make another nice, smooth road section. See if I can make it. There we go. Sand kind of moved me a bit. I'm close enough I can see it, G. Nope. Too far away. There, we got close enough. I really think 4 full loads would be good to fill in this area. Yeah, I get close enough to the quarry that it'll let me video game fill my sand up. Boy, I parked that dozer close to the water, didn't I? There. Gotta get my finger on the right button. Okay. Now, should we go ahead and sand it the whole way, or just the little bits that are needed for the mission? Alright, so let's go ahead and hit it all the way. Won't take near as much sand to do the rest of here, though. Just enough it starts coming out, and then we just start driving. It's actually closer to how it would be done in real life. Alright, let's take this up here back to the sand quarry. Like this. Refill it, park it, and turn it off. Grab our dozer. Which we're going to try to keep out of the water. And then we're going to drive across our sink. Okay. Now let's turn around and do it again. Barking dogs in the background, always fun. It's my real life background, not the video games background. Well, I guess technically a barking dog in the video games background would make sense, right? And we flatten this all out nice and pretty. Alright. Where was I supposed to get to now? Objectives. Send additional support to the transit point. Oh, so I need to be able to drive all the way up here. Okay, well, I think we can get there. Let's find out. And then we made nice smooth sections of road between here and there. See if we need to build another section further along. So that looks fine. That looks fine. Again, nothing through here that's particularly rough or bogging. Nothing's bogging the truck down even a little bit through here. So maybe that little bit of water there. Maybe. I was able to drive here just fine. Could it be this little bit of water that they're whining about? Oh no, I just need to be able to put a route through. Okay, well that's easy at this point. We proved that driving is easy. Let's pull off the side again, out of the way. And go make the route. Okay. Start plotting. We just kind of take it straight through our working areas. Up the road. Avoid that little area. And dispatch the vehicles. And then we just watch them pretty much. Well, that's cool. We can just ride. This little first-person view of it. Get the inside of the truck while we're driving. Really? Wish the AI knew how to drive even a little bit. Tell you what, the van just rear-ended it. That's just what you need when you're driving a big truck hauling cargo. A crew van sitting on your butt running into you every time you slow down. Look, I got a downshift. There's a hill. They're all push. Don't bother. There it is again. Here, let me help you. I'll push, I'll push, I'll push. Hit the gas. Look, you're not driving safe. Back off my bumper. Now that is a new degree of rear. Alright, so where's this one? Warehouse to harbor base.
We need a base of operations on the other side of the river. And that means we need a bridge. I don't suppose you've built a bridge before, right? Well, there's a first for everything.
Okay, so we need to make it where we can drive all the way over here.
You can send a concrete slab convoy from the warehouse to the harbor base. Not essential, but it should keep our reserves up.
Alright, and we drove through some nasty terrain along that route, so I'm pretty sure we're going to need a dump truck. Let's go make a road. I'm driving on the other side of the road even. Now that's just being whiny. Honking at me. I was nowhere near him. Alright. Come on. Makes you wonder how. Makes you wonder why sometimes it'll upshift and just go, and other times it's like, no, I think this is fast enough. Now this is definitely a spot where we're going to start needing sand. There you go. Back up. Turn around. Go get more sand. I have done the path we're getting ready to do a couple different ways on different playthroughs. We're going to go with the most direct route this time rather than the on route I took the first time around. And I'll show you on the map in a minute. What I mean by that. Excuse me. All right. I don't think there's really a need to drop some right here, but let's just hit the right button. And just fill in that hole. In both these spots, I am sure it's totally unnecessary. But, hey, why not? Alright, you gotta learn to go through your gears faster, bud. Well, excuse me. Jerk. I don't think he cares that I called him a jerk. It also isn't lost on me that most of this equipment looks European, and I would say Eastern European at that. Here, since we're doing 47 loads of sand through here, I'll explain what I was meaning a minute ago. Right here, this promontory here, when we came through, we climbed up and straight over here. Well, that's the path I'm going to try. I'm going to build my new road over. You can also come right out here, around the end of the promontory, with sand, and make a road that curves this way. But really get fun stuff right here next to the water, and I'm going to try to avoid that this gameplay, or this time through the game. And we're at a half tank. We have to watch our gas. Use your brakes, quit honking. And we drive back over here again. You'll notice I've not done double dumps in width right here. It's all been single width dumps so far. I'm not sure I will double width, and you'll see why toward the end of this. How much work it is to get a single width of a dump out. Because there's going to be quite a bit of driving back and forth here in a little bit. Because we're going very short distance right now compared to. Oh, bull. Route failed. Where at? Ugh. Actually, you know what? Where's that route at? Cancel it for a second. There. That should deal with most of the issues it was having. It's mostly the issue was they didn't know how to drive. Whoa! There you go. Roll your dump truck. Yeah, roll your dump truck. That's a great way to get this going. And here's the other side you could do. You could go out and around this promontory right against the water. As you might expect, that has other risks involved. Alright, we're going to take this and go get it gas, and then we will switch out and bring our dozer and flatten out what we've already put down. Okay, G. And then hold G. Okay. Now then, grab the dozer, which is way over here. Drag the dozer right back across. Our sand filled in areas. Oh, I'm telling you what, these van drivers, they are fearless. I'm gonna go ahead and turn here. Even if there's technically no reason to. Step, starting right there is where the sand starts. Just drive straight across our sand dunes that we have laid out. Okay. If I hit the right button. Go away. Go. My youngest decided to peek in on me. Let's widen this out just a hair. I did say widen it, which means don't hit it square on again, hit it off to the side. Yep, keep going out here on the edge, all the way up to that rock. This tree may end up being a small issue, but I think if I get enough sand on it, I will be able to drive over it without too much issue. We'll have to see. Yeah, see, right now I'm catching off the blade every time I try to set the blade down. So let's put the blade on the other side of it. Before our sand flattens some more. There we go. This is also fairly low on fuel, so we'll drive it back, hit these other two from the other direction, and then switch back to the dump truck once we get this to the gas tank. There we go. Whoa! Let's go get some fuel. It's not gasoline. These vehicles would not drive on gas. They would drive on diesel. And look, another fearless van driver. And while my blind eyes don't let me drive in real life anymore, I got news for you. Back when I did drive, if I had seen a dump truck coming at me, or a dozer in this case, he would have right away. I promise. The bigger vehicle gets right away. Period. You don't want to get ran over. That would end up very badly, being a littler vehicle. So I say in that van, whoever driving those vans is maybe not got brains, but he sure got courage. Let's see how much smoother and easier this area is. Now we are going to put an entire dump truck load right here. Just absolutely bury this thing. And then we're going to come back and put another one on it too. Oh, that tree gets completely buried and we don't get stuck on that tree. And then we will move away from the tree. And away we go. Someone who's better at a metric to imperial conversion. Give me an idea of what 330 liters of gas actually is. To me, that's 165 pop bottles. Yeah, I know. Someone who typically does well on converting metric to imperial gallons, liters to gallons is not a number I'm good at. Alright, I need to back in for my next dump where I want it to go. So I am pretty serious about just absolutely burying the end of this tree. It can't cause trouble if it's, you know, under 2 or 3 tons of sand. In real life, you would never drive while your truck was up, at least not straight ahead at full speed, because it would be very bad. truck would try to roll and other things. You just roll slowly forward and bring it down using the hydraulics on the inside. Hydraulic switches. Dump trucks have two sets of hydraulics or switches for their hydraulics typically. One on the outside and one on the inside. But all of the controls are dumbed down in this game to make it video gaming, and it comes across a lot of fun in a slow, meticulous kind of way. Not tedious, meticulous. Because it's not tedious. I have played a game recently that has made me feel like what I was doing was tedious, not... Which is why I probably will not be playing that game. Which, I have to be honest, I was hoping I'd like it. But I did not. There we go. Now, let's go refill with sand and grab the dozer and see what happens if we run our leveler across the top of that hump. See if we can't get that tree out of our way for good. Do that, then we switch to this. Let's fill up. We did not fill up. Let's fill up first. There we go. Excuse me. And given that we've already gotten close to the 2-hour mark, once we get where we're good and over the top of this, that bounces right there. It should not hit that hard, should it? I might put a little bit more sand right there and make that smoother. Alright. Oh yeah, that's gonna be nice. Beautiful. Obviously this doesn't have trouble going up and over that hill, so we'll just drive it up and over. And back it in right here. This will be out of the dump truck's way. And let me check my timing here. Wait, the right button. Oh no, we're only an hour and a half. Okay, we'll get a little bit further then. We've gotten through to here. Now we need to come up all the way around, and right through here is where things are get absolutely disastrous. It's because this right here is actually where we got stuck. So back to the dump truck. And that we got our path over the tree trunk good and smoothed out, which makes driving this way safer and easier. Yeah, let's not drive off into the ocean. We may have gotten lucky and floated our way up and out of a mud puddle, but I don't think we're going to float our way out of the ocean. Though there is a part of me that really wants to get going as fast as I can, build a ramp and just fly off the end of a pier or something, just to see what would happen. After all, it is a video game. Why wouldn't you? Excuse me. Just put a little bit here on top so it will acknowledge it as a point that we can flatten. Here at the bottom, I actually need to get a lot of it out. That's actually going to be an important spot to be able to level. Might even try our leveling out here once we get over this. We'll get this back to fill up before we dump again. Alright, down here, turn around, and just switch vehicles again. Alright, spin it around. Switch vehicles. Turn the right direction. And then we alternate between these two vehicles until we get a road that we actually like to drive on. Okay. That should give me some nice flat sand area to drive over the hill on. And it actually makes a pretty smooth corner too, so. Not that one. Same spot. Just, you need to learn to drive. Alright, now we go across the first thing, up and over, make a nice sharp corner at the bottom of the hill. Actually, right here is probably the next big gap is right there. I don't think we might need something here. I doubt it though. Next big place we're going to need it is around the corner. There. Where we washed out. And if you're wondering, yes, eventually we get access to paving and stuff, but not in this mission. So paving will not be a solution to that particular set of problems. It is dumb that that would be failing suddenly, but let's go to where it failed, because we know it's failing in the same spot it failed a long time ago. And one, it doesn't like coming out of here. So let's go ahead and dump some sand here. Alright, we will clean that area up. Finally, we'll need to come back in a minute for that area. And this right here is where it's really not been liking recently. So you know what? issues with clearing my throat and ear again. It has irritated us, so we will make sure it does not fail again. Go back up a little before we get into the... There we go. Gotta get to the quarry area still. And now we can go through, bring our dozer back over here. And I'm pretty sure we can deal with the route failed message. Off we go. Getting a little bit stuck on my own terrain. That's alright. Why are we getting ready to take it? It's far, far less. Alright. Let's go make some islands in the stream. Because that's some deep water. Alright, now we gotta take this thing back and park it. Get gas. Oops, ran into a rock. I don't have to worry about the computer characters doing that because they're not going to take that corner at that rate of speed. Not that there's a speedometer that can tell you how fast I'm going. I can tell you when I'm driving faster than I should. I wonder if I didn't put the parking brake on. Because that truck is getting away. The answer was no. No, I did not put the parking brake on. Alright. Let's go fix it up. Now let's smooth out this corner that they always seem to struggle with for no reason. Drive through this section smoothly. Alright, turn around, go the other way. That should fix that particular set of we're too dumb to drives. I was thinking about just driving straight out there, but I just looked down and realized 200 out of 320, that should be fine for a while. This isn't like the dump truck driving the same trip 40 billion times. It tends to drive in small sections at a time, and turn off for a while and let the dump truck do the same thing. Whoa! Come on, straighten out. Okay. Now, the next place we're going to be using you is to smooth out that after we've filled it in a bit. Infrastructure. Show completed requests. Needs maintenance. Redispatch the vehicles. Won't be a problem anymore. Matter of fact, let's now that we edited, cleaned up this area, why don't we just move them on clearly onto the cleaned up stuff. Same here. You don't have to worry about that area so much anymore. Like that. Because now they can drive smoothly across that corner. So that corner is cleaned up and neat. What was that? There we go. Dispatch vehicles. All right. And that puts us right at 2 hours. So next time, we will be continuing filling in our giant mud puddle and his little friends. And we have to clear all the rocks out of the rough areas here and here. And we got some more fill in here. And that gets us to the bridge. I don't believe we have to fill in any of the roads up here. Pretty sure all of these roads are still drivable. I know later we will be asked to come in and fix these pipes, but I don't think that's in this scenario. I think it's in the next one. But either way, yeah, we will be working on filling that in. And we have a bridge to build still. From here to here. So, lots of road construction in our future. And as you see, the cleaned up road fixed that transportation just nicely. So, until next time, I'm the Blind Gaming Guy. I hope your days go great.